Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. The Domain Lord level qualification battles just passed like that. The absolute pinnacle beings of humanity along with the other geniuses weren't even surprised at Luo Feng getting first place. They were all very clear that with his training speed, he was bound to become one of the absolute beings of the universe. Now everybody was just waiting to see if he was capable of completing the first form of the Nanshan 7 forms in 3,000 years, and whether he'd become a true disciple of the city leader. Within Primal Chaos City. Your Majesty Luo Feng. 3 silver-armored sector lords walked up to where Luo Feng stayed. They looked up at his balcony where he sat crossed-legged. On the balcony, Luo Feng opened his eyes to look down, a smile appearing on his face. He jumped down immediately. Is it what I ordered? Luo Feng looked at the 3 sector lords before him. Yes. The leader of the 3 silver-armored sector lords nodded. He respectfully passed over a world ring. The items and things your majesty ordered are all within this world ring. Luo Feng received it and used his spirit energy to scan the world ring. The world within this ring was small, with a diameter of only 10,000 kilometers. However, it was completely filled with large amounts of things. The goods took up over 1,000 kilometers in space, of which the most obvious were the 3 silver boxes within. Very good. Luo Feng smiled and nodded, thanks for the trouble. No problem, no problem. The 3 sector lords were somewhat taken aback, saying, we shall not disturb you further, we'll be leaving. The 3 swiftly left. Following the spacious walkways, they walked along, discussing, his said to be a rare absolute genius of 10 million eras. But, I didn't expect him to be so humble and easy to get along with. When we went to deliver goods to the Primal Region Sector Lord before, HMPH, he was acting all big and arrogant. This is called bearing. I heard His Majesty Luo Feng has been accepted as a disciple of the Primal Chaos City leader. I heard he's only a disciple in name. Rubbish, he is a true disciple. Ah, there may be some miscommunication. The 3 of them discussed mentally. Even though they were all sector lords, as they were simply staff of the Virtual Universe Company Core, they often heard secrets from their interactions. Most of what they heard had been passed down from many sources, hence they would at most get them 50% right. Luo Feng held the world ring and immediately walked into his own training quarters living room. Sitting in the sofa, he rubbed the world ring and it swiftly refined. Come out. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with anticipation, immediately taking out the 3 silver boxes from within the world. The 3 silver boxes laid out on the dining table. Every box was about 1 m long, half a meter wide, and 30 centimeters tall. Luo Feng took a deep breath and swiftly opened all 3 of them. Click. 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 There was a white plant within each box. They were carefully placed within, 60 centimeters tall, their stolan silver white. Star-eating plant. Luo Feng smiled as he looked at the 3 plants. They've finally come. Since 6 years ago, when he first began his training in the Nanshan 7 forms first form, he had studied on his rough power level after completing the first form. Hence, he got a clearer idea on what would happen in the future. His training in Primal Chaos City was set to be a very long time, hence he had to use the time here wisely. How? He had a large amount of Luo Ku holy water, that was a top-level treasure for nurturing plant life, hence he had decided to do so. One had to know that there were many warriors training within Primal Chaos City. They would often purchase a few treasures, and the Virtual Universe Company's ship would often frequent the place. Naturally they could order things. Luo Feng had ordered 3 infant star-eating plants. Star-eating plant, a very special plant life form that was born in the universe. It could be produced on a normal mineral planet. But as it grew, it would swallow the planet's metals, minerals and rocks etc. Normal minerals on the planet were usually enough to let it evolve to universe level, and the mineral planet later collapse and the plant would begin to wander the galaxy with the large amounts of asteroids. While wandering the universe, it may swallow other special metals and stones, plant life forms etc., evolving further. The plant life forms could be divided into many types, like those for defense, or attack, or both, along with others. As there were many types of plants, their abilities were also countless, even to the point where some plants could produce other living things, while others acted like trees, and stayed rooted to the spot. Transplanting them had to be done carefully, not all of them could be moved about like the cloud contact vine. In all, there were many types with countless abilities. The most suited was best star-eating plant. It was named the most sturdy attacking type plant. What most sturdy refers to is only within the plant's humanity cells. There are other special and mysterious types of plants in the vast universe that cannot be bought. The star-eating plant enjoys swallowing rocks, metal, trees etc. It will make it even sturdier. Its attack method is very simple. Just one move, entangle and kill. The cloud contact vine and star-eating plant were very different. The cloud contact vine was mainly for defense, and its attacking ability was but average. The star-eating plant, however, is even more expensive than the cloud contact vine. One without position, or an avenue, wouldn't even be able to buy an infant star-eating plant. This was because it was the most sturdy attacking type plant, hence it was an extremely good assisting life form during a battle. Its countless vines could wrap about an opponent. As long as it affected the enemy's speed and attack, the battle outcome could be changed. The only ability of entangling and killing had given it the title of most sturdy attacking plant life form, leading to it being in high demand. 3 infant star-eating plants, they cost Luo Feng close to 900,000 mixed elements. Of course the infant stage was all the same, the nurturing later on would make them different. Just like the cloud contact vine, the sector lord weakest had 36 vines, and the strongest with 360 vines. Back then the Yunmo Planet Master, Huyang Bo's cloud contact vine, at sector lord level only had 108 vines, yet it still took a whole lot of work for it to break through to Undying. Luo Feng's sector lord cloud contact vine had 216 vines. It was more than 10 times harder for his to break through to Undying. The star-eating plant was more expensive than the cloud contact vine, of which at sector lord level, the weakest would have 10 vines, the strongest would have 1,000 vines. Star-eating plant. Luo Feng looked at the 3 infant plants, smiling. The 3 star-eating plants, plus the huge amount of material to nurture the plants, had filled up the entire world ring. All of them added together had come up to close to 2 million mixed elements. Without enough wealth, how could one even begin to dwell on it? The cloud contact vine's defense and the star-eating plant's attack. Luo Feng thought, the star-eating plant's sturdiness is well reputed, at infant stage it can already swallow a planet. Luo Feng, don't get happy too early. Barbata's voice resounded within his mind. Your teacher's cloud contact vine only had 108 vines, yet it still required 6.2 million mixed elements, and luck for it to finally break through. And it only gave that cloud contact vine an early official Undying level of strength. Your cloud contact vine has a total of 216 vines, it'll be 10 times harder than your teacher's. If it's the strongest 360 vines, it'll probably be 10 times harder than the golden horned beast breaking through to Undying. And similarly, the moment it broke through to Undying, the 360 vines cloud contact vine would have emperor-level strength. The star-eating plant is even more expensive than the cloud contact vine. Nurturing the weakest 10-vine plant to become Undying would definitely be easy. However, the 500 vines plant would be akin to the strongest cloud contact vine. And the legendary 1000 vine star-eating plant, breaking through to Undying, would probably be even harder than a bug clan queen breaking through to Undying. The difference would be minimal. Of course, the moment it succeeds, an Undying 1000 vine star-eating plant would definitely have an emperor pinnacle level of strength. After hearing Barbata's words, Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh. Of course he knew this, the universe had trillions of life forms that were incredibly mysterious. However, there was never a free meal. The universe was fair, just like the space beasts, the bug clan queen, breaking through to Undying was incredibly difficult. And the plant life forms were the same, the more powerful they were, the more absurd the difficulty of their breakthrough. If one nurtured a lower-level plant life form, it would be easy to break through to undying. If one nurtured a stronger plant life form, it could never break through to undying. The choice was all on the person. Ha ha, hence I ordered 3 of them. Luo Feng laughed. 3-star eating plants. I will make one with 100 vines, another with 300, and last one will be the best one with 1,000 vines. He had spent close to 2 million mixed elements. 3 of the infant plants close to 900,000, and over 1.1 million mixed elements in the resources that were required to nurture them. The main thing was that nurturing the 1,000 vines star-eating plant took up over 90% of the resources. Luckily, I have the Luo Ku holy water, otherwise producing a sector Lord level 1,000 vine star-eating plant would be enough to make an official level undying go bankrupt. Luo Feng thought. I'm lucky. I only spent 2 million. When I reach sector Lord level, the virtual universe company will give me an extra 50 million mixed elements. Nurturing the star-eating plants was very easy. They first had to recognize their master, then the process was simple after. Most of the time, the 3 plants would be left in the pond of Luo Ku holy water, with Barbata watching over them and observing their evolution process, giving them the required resources when they needed to evolve. Right now all 3 are in the infant stage. However, I'll be here in Primal Chaos City for a very long time. When I complete the first form, the of Nanshan 7 forms, the 3 would probably have already reached Sector Lord Pinnacle. Luo Feng smiled. He didn't think any more about it, immersing himself in his training of the Nanshan 7 forms. Time passed. He spent long periods of time sitting crossed-legged on his balcony, like the other warriors about. 1 year, 10 years, 100 years, time passed continuously. Luo Feng kept improving. In the blink of an eye, it had already been 800 years since Luo Feng was accepted as a disciple in name to the Primal Chaos City leader. There were another 2 domain lord level qualification battles. Actual universe every millennium equates to 300 years in Primal Chaos City. Without a doubt, Luo Feng still got number 1 each time. Everything else had been normal. Altogether, Luo Feng had been here for over 900 years, actual universe over 3,000 years. During this time, Bolin had become a primal region domain lord and Rong Jun had become an absolute beginning domain lord. Virtual universe, within an island in a special space, with palaces joining together, it was extremely beautiful, an absolute beautiful location. Master. The master is back. Many beams of lights immediately flew through the island. Many absolutely beautiful ladies and others rushed into the virtual universe the moment they got news from their friends, and silhouettes filled the island. Greetings, Master. Over 100 million staff and ladies all knelt respectfully. Mad laughter resounded throughout the island. A demonically beautiful man stood before them. He was Yang Zhu Emperor. You. Yang Zhu's eyes burned with madness. He walked amongst the 100 million kneeling before him, and casually picked a few of them. Come with me, he ordered. Yes. The over 1,000 men and women he had picked followed him, but their eyes were somewhat nervous. Ever since 3,000 years ago, their master Yang Zhu Emperor wouldn't even come into the virtual universe, coming in only once every century, and at most staying within for only a month. Every time he came, he would find all sorts of methods to vent. None of the staff dared to resist. There were cries of pain and shock, howling and all sorts of noises from the palace. After a while, he rubbed off the blood stains from his lips, and put on a long robe over his naked body as he walked barefoot. His body flashed as he quickly reached another hall, and sat in the throne above. Lord. 2 men and a lady bowed respectfully within. These 3 were all undying. Yang Zhu let out a comfortable sigh of relief. Being cooped up in the 9th Starfield jail hell was too terrifying. He was set to be locked up for 1,000 eras. Normally, there was no way to connect to the virtual universe network from inside. That entire area was banned by the system from connecting. However, he was Yang Zhu Emperor and his father was Shahua Knight. Shahua Knight had gotten a chance for his son. he would be able to enter the virtual universe network every century for a month. He knew his son's mental state too. If he were to be locked up in there for 1,000 eras without any connection, he would probably go crazy or lose his mind. However, being able to enter the virtual universe every century to vent it out would help alleviate matters. I only get a chance every century. Those other punks all have to battle it out to find ways to occasionally get a chance to connect, and they only get a short day. Yang Zhu thought, however, I get a fixed chance every 100 years and for a month. If they knew, they'd be truly jealous. It was only thrilling with comparison. Ninth Starfield jail hell, that was indeed a nightmare. Those who were all locked within were all that had committed grave sins, and all of them were extremely powerful. You three, report to me the news of the past century. Yang Zhu sat in his throne, lifting his wine and sipping it. Yes, Lord. The huge Axe Dojo has arranged for another manager at Wulong Starfield, Qi Li Emperor, to substitute you. He just took on the position. The black-robed Undying said respectfully. Scum. Yang Zhu's expression grew heavy. Shahor Knight's underling Bao Jin Emperor has led a group of Undyings heading to. The Undying continued with the reports. As all these were well prepared beforehand, Yang Zhu could easily and swiftly read through them himself. However, he enjoyed bossing them around from high above and listening to them report to him. He enjoyed this feeling. One report after another. After a while. With regards to True Yang's disciple. True Yang has been in Primal Chaos City these past 100 years, without any movement. His disciple Bloodthirst Emperor has been hard to locate. As for his smallest disciple Luo Feng, he's still training in Primal Chaos City. He's on his balcony almost every day. The Lady of the Three Undyings said below. Ha ha. Training on the balcony like an idiot. He really thinks he can finish the first form of the Nanshan 7 forms within 3,000 years. He must be dreaming. Yang Zhu mocked. When he had heard that Luo Feng had become a disciple in name to the city leader, he was extremely furious. He felt unfairness within. He was punished because of Luo Feng to suffer in the jail hell for 1,000 eras, yet this Luo Feng actually became a disciple in name to the Primal Chaos City leader. These were completely two different levels of fate. How could he feel at ease with this? After which, every time he entered the virtual universe every 100 years. Almost every report he got of Luo Feng was of him training on his balcony. Keep dreaming. Humph. 3 months after Yang Zhu got his report from his underlings, within Virtual Universe's Thunder Island. Thunder Island, it was the gathering point of the Undyings of the Virtual Universe Company. Within its highest quarters, there was a majestic palace engulfed in primal chaos energy flow. This was the living quarters of the Primal Chaos City leader. The palace was filled with primal chaos energies. One couldn't visibly see past 100 m. Teacher. Huge Axe Knight bowed respectfully. He still carried his huge axe on his back, and he also had 6 arms and eyes. What's the matter? A voice resounded from the depths of the primal energies. Huge Axe Knight had left Primal Chaos City long ago. Hence he had been teaching Luo Feng from the virtual universe all this while. Naturally, he reported to the city leader in the virtual universe as well. You let me give guidance to Luo Feng. In regards to him, I have some matters to report. Huge Axe Knight said respectfully. Speak. The voice resounded. I've been teaching him every 10 years, yet I discovered, this Luo Feng is quite strange. He said. Strange. Explain. Huge Axe Knight spoke at the endless primal chaos energies, respectfully, yes. When I was teaching him, I discovered his improvement speed is simply terrifying. Although many problems would slightly obstruct him, he'd swiftly break through them every time. There was nothing that actually held him past 3 months, and currently, he's already close to completing the first level of the Nanshan 7 forms. Close to completion. A blur silhouette walked out from the primal chaos energies. Yes. Huge Axe Knight said respectfully. The city leader stood before Huge Axe Knight. This was a strong-looking gold-armored powerful-looking man, completely different from the one back in Primal Chaos City. He looked at Huge Axe Knight, How long do you think he will take to complete it? If is fast, in half a year, if is slow, maybe 3 years. He replied. Looks like I did underestimate him when I gave him 3,000 years. The city leader smiled. With that smile, it felt like the entire space about had livened up. Looks like you'll be getting one more junior. Huge Axe Knight smiled too. Luo Feng's talent in the Beast God path is indeed shocking. Even though that Nanshan 7 Forms is a top-class training manual, there are no tablets to refer to or anything, it can at most be studied. And for junior Luo Feng to break through so easily, it's very impressive indeed. His future is boundless. The city leader smiled and nodded. 800 years. 3,000 years. His eyes gleamed satisfied. Even though Luo Feng's gold and space law improvement speed was heavenly, to the primal chaos city leader, it was but average. And in the Beast God path, however, it had made him very satisfied. 3 months after Huge Axe Knight's conversation with the city leader, on a balcony in primal chaos city, Luo Feng sat crossed-legged. Suddenly illusionary scales appeared on the surface of his body. In an instant, there was a faint cloak of a single horned lizard all over his body. This was the Beast God illusion. Rumble. He suddenly opened his eyes and 2 beams shot out. It was a terrifying power. The Nanshan 7 Forms, also called the Beast God 7 Techniques. It was a way of training to materialize the Beast God itself. When one had finished the 7th level, he would be able to transform into a Beast God. This 7th level was purely imagination, it had yet to be completed. And Luo Feng already had a sense of its energy now. Powerful. Intrepid. The 1st level scales, completed. Luo Feng opened his eyes and gazed at his body below. During these 800 years, he had occasionally been studying the veins of the scales too, hence he was surrounded by many scattered veins as well. The city leader gave me 3,000 years to complete it. But, I've already completed it in 800 years. Luo Feng was gleeful. It's all thanks to the Beast God presence, the Beast God statue. Luo Feng was happy. While he was training, he discovered that the Beast God presence he had grasped from his trillions of times imitating the statue had helped him a lot. Training the Nanshan 7 Forms was ultimately for usage, and since he could already do it, it resonated well and made the first scale portion much easier. What's more, he could personally see the scales from the statue itself, almost like seeing a living Beast God. Hence his improvement was so much faster. After tasting the benefits of the Beast God presence, he naturally imitated the sleeping Beast God statue intensely. His comprehension of the fusion laws grew even more as he began to understand it. Naturally, his grasp on the presence became easier. From not knowing anything, he copied the statue trillions of times to get a grasp of it. However, after understanding the fusion laws, it only took tens of millions of times of imitation to reach the same result. The Beast God presence and the fusion laws were interlinked. The more one understood the fusion laws, the higher the efficiency of control of the Beast God presence. The more one had a grasp of the Beast God presence, the more he would be able to understand the fusion laws. Luo Feng had always maintained the Beast God presence being above the fusion laws, both spurring each other, reaching optimum results. Just like that, it only took him 800 years to complete the 1st level. Of course, within these 800 years, his benefits have been plenty too. His internal world had grown to its limit, with a diameter of 90 million kilometers. Golden Horned Beast and Mosha bodies too had reached Sector Lord level 9. It's time to go visit the city leader, he thought. He jumped down from the balcony and landed in the walkways within the city leader's mansion. Your Majesty, Luo Feng, the city leader, has ordered earlier for you to enter when you arrive. The group of undying guards within didn't stop him. Luo Feng smiled and walked in. As they looked at his back, they began to discuss amongst themselves, entering without a need for verification. Other than the very few individuals, they are all the city leader's disciples. Has Luo Feng become a true disciple? Very likely. The city leader's order didn't come too long ago. He should have accepted Luo Feng as a disciple. Luo Feng stood in the yard facing the primal chaos ruins. He stepped through. Rumble. Time and space warped and he appeared within a vast wasteland. Trillions of other races' corpses filled the land. There was a silhouette sitting crossed-legged within. Teacher. Luo Feng got up and carefully bowed respectfully, not stepping on any of the corpses. The silhouette got up. He turned to look at Luo Feng. Despite the malevolent face he had, his eyes were gentle and warm. He smiled and nodded. Have you finished the first level? I just finished the first scale portion of it, hence I immediately came to report to you. Luo Feng said. Your 9th senior said you'd be here quickest in half a year, slowest in 3 years. I didn't expect you to come here after 3 months instead. He nodded. Demonstrate the first form for me. Yes. Luo Feng said respectfully. Actually, over these 800 years of training, even though he had finished the first level scale portion, in truth, he had only gotten comprehension of the first form. As for its usage and techniques, he hadn't actually learnt anything. The law comprehension was simply that, usage was just as important. Luo Feng had thought of coming earlier to see the city leader, coming without any techniques at all. Luckily, I usually let the golden horned beast train with it, and my human body trained in the virtual universe, often mixing it with the 3000 space claw technique. Finally, I managed to comprehend the most basic usage. Luo Feng was happy within. Rumble. The genetic energy within him swirled as layers of scales appeared on the surface of his body. They even began to appear on his arms. Every scale's engravings were exactly the same as the sleeping beast god statues, but the only difference was that it was smaller. The city leader smiled. At this time Luo Feng had become a human form beast, covered in scales with its intrepid energy engulfing the area. It could be said to be a simple beast god transformation, however his power level had shot up greatly. Sky-tearing claw. Luo Feng rushed forward fiercely. His right hand covered in scales clawed forwards, almost like the golden horned beast unleashing the technique. The space within the ruins shook violently. A blurry, terrifying, huge claw silhouette tore through space and dispersed after. After unleashing the move, the scales on his body immediately began to return to genetic energy and disappear within his body, regaining his original form. Teacher. Luo Feng said respectfully. Your claw work is not bad. The city leader nodded satisfied. You've only gained comprehension of the first scale form. In terms of usage, you can use it in spirit weapons, blade work and so on for various usage such as for movement and defense. However, these usage techniques have to be trained as well. Your claw work, however, is not bad at all. Luo Feng was shocked within. Could it be weak? Sky-tearing claw was his trump card, one that he had gotten from studying the beast god pictures and training for a very long time. Even though the golden horned beast had imitated the statue trillions of times, during that period, it had constantly used sky-tearing claw to get a grasp of the beast god presence. From today, you will become my 32nd disciple. The city leader emphasized. The student greets the teacher. Luo Feng knelt down. The city leader looked at this young punk kneeling before him. Compared to his long life and power, this punk was indeed small and weak. Actually, it was like a parent speaking to his child. Normally they pamper the weakest of them the most. In truth, they care about all their children, however the youngest one is usually the one they naturally took care of the most. One theory. The total number of disciples the city leader had, including Luo Feng, was only 32. There were only 27 surviving, of which 25 were knights and one was an emperor-level pinnacle. The final one was Luo Feng, who was the smallest and weakest. Towards the smallest disciple, the city leader would naturally look after more. And seeing Luo Feng kneel before him today, he suddenly felt as though he was looking at a very lively punk, Kudi from before. Kudi. The city leader couldn't help but feel hurt and rage as he thought of Kudi. He too was a true disciple of his. Back then, the Bug Clan warriors had ambushed him and made him lose his disciple. Actually, once anyone reached the city leader's level of power, killing his disciples was very hard. Even if they were killed and their souls were destroyed. The city leader could reverse time to the point before his disciple's death, reviving him. Of course, reversing time was extremely difficult, and this went against all the universe laws themselves. Hence, as a consequence, there would be a backlash. All in all, reversing time was an extremely hard thing to do. And this move wasn't invincible, it wasn't such that all the dead could be revived. Like Kudai, with the Bug Clan warriors planning everything out, the city leader still lost his disciple. "Get up," the city leader said softly. Luo Feng obediently complied. "Including you, of the 32 disciples I've had, 5 have already fallen," the city leader said. "Among the surviving 26 seniors of yours, 25 are knights. Only one is an emperor-level pinnacle. You are still weak, however I believe you'll reach emperor pinnacle easily." Luo Feng heard the words "still weak," he couldn't help but mutter to himself. Weak? He had been in Primal Chaos City for over 900 years, but over 3,000 years had passed in the actual universe. According to Earth's time, he was already over 3,000 years old. 3,000 years of growth, the population of Earth humans had reached an incredibly level, they had filled the entire Milky Way galaxy, even reaching other galaxies. The limit of the population was mainly territory and food etc. Without these restrictions, a small tribe of 10 can easily reach over 100 million in a 1,000 years. Hence, with 3,000 years passing, the number of Earth humans and people in the Luo family had exploded to an extreme level, and with Luo Feng in such a high position on Earth, his family too had the same prestige. Many called him an ancient ancestor, calling him the sacred person of Earth and so on. However, before the city leader, he was still weak. He knew that the city leader wasn't wrong. Compared to the city leader or universe knights, those level of beings, anyone who hasn't lived over 100 million years would be considered small. Luo Feng muttered. "From today onwards, you can teleport directly to my palace on Thunder Island," the city leader said. "If you have any questions, you can ask me in the virtual universe Thunder Island. As for here, the Primal Chaos Ruins, without my order, you don't have to come here." "Yes, teacher," Luo Feng said respectfully. "Also, on the day you reach Sector Lord, and the day you decide to leave Primal Chaos City, come here," the city leader said. Yes. Luo Feng remembered. The day he became Sector Lord and the day he left Primal Chaos City. Come visit his city leader teacher. "You can leave now." He smiled indifferently. "Ah, your authority has been risen. You can search for a lot more information regarding what you want to know through the virtual universe network from now on." The disciple takes his leave. Luo Feng replied happily. The city leader immediately teleported Luo Feng out of the ruins. Only the city leader was left in the wastelands. Looking at the vast ruins, the trillions of other race warriors' bodies around, he sat down crossed-legged again silently. Luo Feng felt the time and space warp before him. He was instantly standing at the entrance of the Primal Chaos Ruins yard. "I still thought I'd get some reward after becoming a true disciple," Luo Feng thought and laughed. "However, he told me to visit him when I become a Sector Lord and when I'm about to leave the city, there should be some special reason. If there wasn't, we could simply meet in the virtual universe." Authority risen. Luo Feng was happy within as he walked within the residence, quickly walking out of it and returning to his quiet balcony. He sat crossed-legged and immediately sent a thread of consciousness into the virtual universe to check information regarding the Primal Sky Mountain. With different levels of authority, the amount of information was naturally different. Even though he was a Primal Region member before, he still couldn't find much. He couldn't even find anything about the Hong Alliance. And the status of a Primal Chaos City leader disciple was extremely high. The authority sure is different. I get much more detailed information now. He sat crossed-legged and smiled. Primal Region Sky Mountain, it sure is hard. Universe level, Primal Region Sky Mountain, one had to have the capability of passing the 12th level of the Heavenly Bridge to pass. Domain Lord level, Primal Region Sky Mountain, one had to have the capability of passing the 16th level of the Heavenly Bridge to pass. Sector Lord level, Primal Region Sky Mountain, one had to have the capability of passing the 20th level of the Heavenly Bridge to pass. Luo Feng looked at the information and couldn't help but exclaim. Tough. The primal region Sky Mountain was indeed the hardest of all. Using Tru Yang's words, they had no intention of letting the geniuses pass it. Only absolute geniuses of 10 million eras, very few of them had passed them before. Of course, geniuses of 10,000 eras didn't have such ability. Part 1 end here.